are we, Ninny Bang, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. So today in the booth we're looking at a KO version of Grimlock, and this is the Zhan Jiang Dinosaur King. So this guy, I got this guy on Wish, and this is the last time I'll be buying anything on Wish, and I'll go a little bit into that towards the end of the video around my troubles with Wish and this product specifically. So yeah, let's get cracking. So as we all know, this is a KO version of Grimlock. Grimlock is the leader of the Dinobots all the way through G1, all the way up to right now. Many different forms of Grimlock that we've seen over the years, but this is more of a classic shiny version of Grimlock. At this point usually we would take a look at the packaging for this guy. However, there is no packaging for this guy, or certainly I didn't receive any packaging for this guy. So I got some lovely bubble wrap with this guy, which is always nice to get, nice to play with. And I got the destructions. So let's just move Dinosaur King out of the way and have a look at the destructions. So destructions for this one, quite big destructions. Nice pictures on the front of Dinosaur King D01 in his Grimlock classic G1 alt mode, and also pretty classic looking bot mode here as well. And then we open up, and the instructions for this one are actually quite good. It's Grimlock's classic transformation, though, you know, it's pretty much very similar to his G1 transformation, and that's all you get. You get some accessories, and we shall touch on those in a second, but that's all you really get. So we can bring old Grimlock back out and see if me Grimlock kick butt. You can find out right now if Grimlock kicks butt. So this is his alt mode from a distance, and this is the reason that I got this guy. From a distance, this guy looks pretty good. He's shiny. He looks like Grimlock should look. And all in all, he's not bad to sit on your shelf. Well, as soon as you start to kind of touch him, this is where some things kind of fall apart for me. So let's have a look at the figure. There is some pretty nice, actually, molded detail on the figure, and he's got some chromed out looking toes here as well. He's got a very chromed out looking tail again, which is very G1-esque. Chromed out looking little side plates here on the side, lovely gold neck, and his chromed out hands here as well. So all in all, you know, his head sculpt in his dinosaur mode is actually really nice. There's quite a lot of detail in there, and there's also the classic red for the Grimlock eyes. So actually, all in all, in his alt mode, he's not too bad. Then we come to the articulation side, and there's quite a fair amount of articulation that you get in this one as well. So you get, let's start at the head. You get a nice little head swivel and a head up and down, which is classic for Grimlock. You also get articulation on his mouth, and he has a little gun port just hiding in the back here, so that's quite nice. His head will move side to side, like we said, and his arms are on a ball joint, so you can move them. You get no elbow movement, so they are kind of stuck in this position, but it's nice to have them actually move. On the legs, you get some leg articulation here. I think you can get a full 360 from this bad boy, and then you get his feet articulation. Obviously his feet will bend forwards so that you can stand him up properly, and you actually get some toe articulation as well. I think you also get, I'm right in saying, a slight bit of toe articulation, but it's not tail articulation, but it's not 100% perfect. It kind of clips off and clips back on, so you can move the tail if you want a little bit, but not too much. So that's kind of the articulation and everything that you get with this guy. So you can see he's not too bad. In hand, the plastic feels a bit crispy. It's not the best plastic, obviously. for this guy. It's a little bit, it feels very much like it's going to break all the time, especially versus some of the other KOs that I've had. It's probably the cheapest feeling in hand. So that for me is a little bit of a challenge. If we get bring out for comparison now some other KOs. So this is the Deformation Hound from the Siege Deformation line. So you can see that how they scale together, and they actually scale quite well together. This is obviously two separate companies, but this one is the Deformation line, and the Platinum on this one feels okay, feels very, very nice, but especially versus this one that feels kind of like it's about to break every time I move something. And then also we have the Siege Prime from the Deformation line again. So this is an oversized Prime and an oversized Hound that I just brought up, and you can see that they scale quite well together, I think. So that's how we look, compares up to some of the other KOs on the market at the moment. Okay, so we then come to the transformation on this guy. So let's start with the fact that we pull off the accessories here, which I'm taking off very gently so that I don't actually snap it. There we go. So first piece, you take that off. Then you're going to start around here and unclip the tail, and then you can start to work on the legs. Legs here, you can just, they unclip and they unclip. This joint here is where it really, oh, there you go, you hear that that snap that makes you think everything is going to break. Then move the legs kind of round here again, and you can just start to unclip the bottom where everything's kind of put together, and unclip the what will eventually become the feet from the back there. So you've got the whole thing transformed, and then you kind of have to lift this up, put this in, flip this back round, and then bring this back round here, and then you can bring the feet down. So yeah, it's out, bring this piece in, leg out and down, and you bring the foot in. Then you've got him kind of raw. Interesting. Very interesting mode there. Raw. Now that we've worked on the top half of the body, bottom half of the body, we can now focus our attentions on the top. And then in classic Grimlock style, you just dink the head round. Oh, again, everything just feels like it's going to snap. It's all pegged in quite securely and feels like it's about to break as you pull everything apart. There we go. And then, yeah, then this just all moves down on a hinge to give me this classic backpack. Open up the hand here. Close down, so close down. And then the arms here, this is the next challenge. So this peg here has to go into this peg here. So you move the arms around like so, and then you push in. Oh, went in there. That's the easiest it's ever gone in. Wow, you must know how to put on a show, Grimlock, because you weren't never that easy. Here we go. So this one here. There we go. And there we go. And then we have the grimmest of locks, or Dinosaur King, in his robot mode. So now we have Grimlock, aka Dinosaur King, in his super shiny bot mode. And the bot mode actually looks quite good as well on this guy. he is super shiny, super G1 looking. He's actually really articulated and really posable with some real fun accessories as well. So let's have a greater look in detail at this guy. Have a look at his little head sculpt first, and it's a classic G1 head sculpt. Would have been nice to get some light piping on this. That would have really set it off, especially with the rest of the shininess that's going on everywhere. So that would have been quite cool. Then molded detail and nice shiny gold everywhere. Some really nice molded detail on the legs, the tail, a really big backpack, as Grimlock tends to have most of the time. Then big beefy arms with some molded detail and some nice painted details on the bottom of the leg. So all in all, not a bad looking figure at all. Articulation wise, we get a full 360 on his head. Also pretty good tilt up and down here on the head, so very posable on his head. His hands, if you move the backpack out of the way, you'll get a full 360. You just have to move it past the backpack. At the elbow, you get a nice bend on his elbow, and you also get a rotation here on the elbow. Does it go full three? It goes full 360 if you pull it back out. Hands don't articulate, but they do turn, so you get some nice turning action there. So a little bit of articulation. These will move as you want, obviously, because they are just the toes. At the waist, you get a full 360 on his waist, but you don't get any kind of ab crunch here. And at the hips, you get a nice leg swing and a full really nice bend. It'll overextend a bit because of the transformation as well, and you get some toe articulation here, but it's a bit crazy because the tail kind of gets in the way quite a lot, and I'm pretty sure that this tail, the chrome on this tail is gonna get messed up to hell the more you articulate this, because it's just gonna keep rubbing until that goes away. So all important, can he ninja kick? I don't believe he's going to be able to because of that huge. Go on, Grimlock. Go on, my son. Nice. So Grimlock can ninja kick as well. He has pretty big feet, and that little tail pops out a little bit to help with that. So all in all, not a bad articulation and posable figure. So now let's take a look at the accessories that you get, and you get some real fun accessories with this Grimlock as well. You get the gun that you saw me pull out before, which is like a translucent green gun that he can hold in his back on his alt mode, and also he can hold the gun within this mode as well. He has a sword as well. The sword that he has here is the classic red and green sword. It's nice that these are like little translucent, but what I really like, and probably the most fun piece about this, is he has me Grimlock King. So there we go. He has a lovely Grimlock crown, which is pretty cool. I like that. I like the little crown throwback to some classic G1 episodes there, where Grimlock is king. Really nice accessories with this guy. Can't fault him on that at all. So now, just to have a look how these guys looks up against some other KOs that you can get at the moment, we're going to bring out the Deformation Hound again, so you can see how they scale in comparison to each other, and they're a similar size. So this guy, although he looked pretty good size wise in his alt mode, yeah, in the bot mode he's probably a little small for going with especially the masterpiece size ones. And this is an oversized Siege KO Hound, just so that you're aware of that. And then if I bring the oversized KO Siege Prime out, you can see that the Siege Prime actually is a lot bigger, so he does not scale very well at all. And actually these two are very similar in price when you go to pick these guys up as well. This is a pretty good figure. I will do a review on this guy pretty soon. Overall, would I recommend that you pick up Dino King, the Zhan Jiang Dino King? It's a tough one. So my story on this figure, as I've said before, I bought this on Wish, and this is the last thing that I'll be buying this on Wish. The figure itself was quite cheap. It was like about 11 or 12 pound, which I think works out at about $16-17, maybe $18, certainly under 20. But then when they posted it to me and I paid for postage and packaging, I then had to pay customs charge on this guy. Now a lot of places, AliExpress included, where I buy a lot of my stuff now, and even some eBay sellers, when you say I had to pay customs charges on this, they tend to turn around and say, no problem, we'll refund you that money. Wish and these guys did not refund me that, so overall I ended up paying about 35 to 40 pounds for this guy after I paid custom charges, postage and packaging, and this guy is not worth 30 to 40 pounds at all. If this guy was still in the 10 to 12, under $20 range, okay, maybe he's closer within that range. The plastic, as I've said, feels very, very breakable, but he looks good on a shelf and his articulation is okay. So I would say this guy is worth it for a cheap price if you think that he looks good, but do not pay extraordinary fees, and make sure that all your postage and packaging is going to be covered. So if you're going to pick this guy up, I pick him up from AliExpress, not Wish, because they will not refund you that extra money. But I have to say, guys, if I was going to pick up a piece right now, this guy, I'll just move him to the side again, is the same price as this guy, who's an oversized version of the Siege Prime, and I would definitely go with the oversized version of Prime at the moment. Review coming on this guy real soon. So guys, this is where I stand on this one. He looks good. The plastic feels a bit cheap. I certainly paid over the odds for him, but you can get this guy cheaper. So it's up to you really how you'd like to. The first time I transformed this guy, these pegs here really didn't go in too well. There was some burrs on there that I had to kind of snap through and things like this. So really be careful with the quality of this product. He looks okay, but the quality is not great at all. Okay guys, so have you picked this guy up? Have you had similar experiences to me? Have you now decided that Wish is a very bad place to shop for TFs? What have your experiences been? Tell me about them down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright guys, in a bit, peace!